everybody. This is the latest and greatest episode of Heighten Your Sixes with Shaun Green. I got Miss Erin from the UK with us today. This is a great guest. I've been really excited about talking to her. We had a great conversation a few weeks back, and she's she's familiar with podcasts. I put it that way. She's been over 60 plus podcasts in the near in the present, and she's loved. She has a great conversation. She's a wealth of knowledge, and she's an expert in her field. And I'm just really excited to talk with you today. So just welcome to the show. Welcome to the Heighten Your Six family. So how are you doing today, and just what's going on in your world?
Well, thank you very much for such an amazing introduction. I actually, every time I have a podcast, I want to say something apart from thank you for having me, because it's like so much overused and I couldn't come up with anything better this time around. So thank you very much for having me. And
You're
again,
welcome.
thank you for such a fantastic introduction because it was totally unexpected.
You're welcome. You much well deserved. Much well deserved. Um, so on this show, we like to focus on elevating, aligning the mind, body, and spirit through teaching actionable strategies and fundamental principles. Our my goal is to empower every beautiful soul to harness their highest potential. So with my mission and my focus, how do you feel like what you do and in your pursuit and your mission, how's that align?
Well, first of all, it definitely feels like I'm in the right place. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. And I
Yes.
definitely, yes, because I'm here and I read and I listened to a podcast, obviously what I'm doing resonates with what you're trying to do.
Mhm.
So the reason I'm here because I want to empower individuals to feel freer, to be strugglers, to live
Yeah.
in a way that is strugglers, and
Yeah.
to embrace peace and harmony. I know they're very big words. Hopefully, they're not as overused as purpose. Nevertheless, living in peace with yourself, it's amazing. This is where freedom, true freedom is. And
Mhm.
this is what I'm about.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's I mean that's a goal. That should be the goal for everybody is true freedom. And I think a lot of people don't um don't achieve that because they get too caught up into maybe what they're influenced by what their parents or their friends or their culture, their religion, whatever different things that may hold people back. I think that they never really are able to find their authentic self, just because of all those different outside influences. They don't listen to their internal being and the driving force that's like this voice and this burning desire inside of them to do a certain thing, to go a certain way. And I feel like that's kind of like the sad part of a lot of people's lives.
Absolutely, because freedom, first of all, is scary. Simply because, again, to be free, you have to have pulls to go against most things that you used to consider as opinion leaders, so those who make an impact according to you in your life.
Mhm.
So that's the first thing. And the second thing, freedom comes with responsibility. And responsibility is scary because ultimately you've got no one else to blame on for anything that happens apart from yourself.
Mhm.
So as long as you are ready to go against the current, being true to yourself, and also take responsibility for your own thoughts, actions, and emotions, then you are ready to get into the freedom state. Otherwise, yeah, it's challenging.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, that awareness. I believe like people, you gotta be aware, or you gotta have some type of goal towards, what it is you want. And so I think once you have that awareness, then that certainty can give you the peace that in and to like to drive yourself towards that freedom. That's how I feel.
Absolutely, having a goal is very important.
Hmm.
But again, it comes with twofold, I believe. So yes, knowing where you want to be or who you want to be, it's already an achievement.
Hmm.
So that's one piece of awareness. Yes, I'm here, but it's not working for me. So this is where I want to see myself in whatever years from now. So that's one step awareness. But the second one is more important. Is actually is to face yourself. What's exactly within you that prevents you from moving towards the goal that you identified. So there are two different types of awareness, but both massively important.
Right. Very true. Very true. So, from your what sparked your interest in psychology and understanding human behavior?
Oh my God, it was such a long time ago. So it just happened that I started my career in marketing and 20 years actually I spent in big business. But what I loved about marketing was strategy because it wasn't marketing now, it's a kind of different thing. So it was strategy. What I loved about it the most is that I was always saying that strategy is partially art and partially science. And science is psychology. And because whatever strategy you create when you work in marketing, when you work in brands, nothing comes from here. You are just a reflection of your consumer, of your client, of your customer. You need to be empathetic enough to understand as people walk in their shoes and create strategies that are going to fit what they're after, going to answer their wants, their deepest desires that often they're not aware of. As we said from the very beginning, you need to get aware of the goal, but people rarely know what they want.
Mhm.
So that kind of sparked my interest in psychology because I was trying to understand my consumers first. Then it was about teams, right? I obviously had leaders that were good and leaders that were not so good.
Yeah.
But because of my personality, that actually I don't really fit in, and neither I want to fit in, it kind of gave me an opportunity, to look at what's happening around me from an outside perspective. It's like, okay, I'm not part of you, but why is that? Why is not working? When you don't try to mimic into the group of people you're with, but you always see yourself as a little bit of an outsider, you have more of a helicopter view, more impartial view of what's going on. Like, okay, so let me understand why I don't like this situation,
Mhm.
why, what isn't working here. So I was trying to understand myself, but I was also trying to understand leaders that I worked with. Next step was to understand teams. Okay, I'm starting as a leader of a new team. What I'm supposed to do if I see that it's not quite working, people are not happy. So what exactly? So that let me understand more of a motivational psychology. So that was like, step by step, trying to understand myself again because I didn't fit in. It's like, okay, what's wrong with me? And
Yeah.
when I understood what's wrong with me, is like was a step of self-acceptance. All right, okay, so I'm different, live with it, I'm fine. And then some other thing that happened in private life that made me get interest in clinical psychology and mental health issues. And like that, it was overwhelming. And by the end of my business career, once somebody asked me, what would you like to do? I said, if I wasn't a business person, I would have been a psychiatrist or psychologist or an art historian, both. But yeah, so that was the interest that I took, basically brought through my life. And ultimately, like many people, I went through challenging periods and I want to get out of this period a different person. And that gave me a lot of understanding, more transparency about the world around me and people around me and how we're all wired and how we see our reality.
I
And
got
that
you.
just went deeper.
So basically, you just the different stages of transition of growth that allow you to like go through periods of understanding yourself, and then that drove you to trying to understand the team and leadership around you.
Yeah, and
Um,
consumers, yeah.
you know,
And
and
then
understand.
behaviors of other people, because you meet a new person and you may just live it here, or you may just go and contemplate, okay, so what's about this person? And you try to understand what's behind the visible. So
Mhm.
it's a little bit, brain twisting exercise, but I enjoyed it, which means that's something that, I was more inclined to do.
Yeah,
That's how, and basically now I'm continuing my education officially
yeah, that's
to
beautiful.
become, to get my master's in psychology after
Mhm.
30 years of studying it in depth. So that's how it happened.
Yeah, that's good though. But it was a journey of what they call it. They say when going to the inner space. It was an inner journey.
Yeah,
You have to go deep within to figure out you, which
yeah,
allowed you to figure out the world, the outside world around you. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, when we talk about branding and we talk about understanding inner you, you know, there's an archetype that's called explorer. And usually the best example, how it's usually typecasted, is going to be Jeep, right? So you have this car that's exploring something or Patagonia. But the thing is that explorer is not about always traveling and it's not about external exploration. That's the first step. But the next step is internal exploration.
Uh-huh.
And this is how you try to understand yourself better, going deeper within yourself. And that is the most fun because
Exactly.
it's just scary probably in the beginning. But then you can see so many different opportunities how to readjust yourself. So
Mhm.
you are still comfortable with who you are, but the external world doesn't bother you anymore.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's part of the journey of growth because when you were able to like go inside and then you can like visualize, I guess, the different possibilities of what you may want your reality to become. But then you find as you kind of go through that visualization process, you can say, well, I kind of like this outcome. I like this outcome. This may be so it gives you different options, but you get stronger within yourself because you are really trusting yourself to like, okay, this is the future goals or future visions I see. So let me trust myself to, follow one of these paths or even try to explore a little bit of either one of them to see which road might be the best path for me to take for my life, for
Yeah,
my journey.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is, by the way, strategy. You
Hmm.
know, when you just mention, I can see this outcome and that outcome, I'm like, oh, yeah, that is strategy, exactly what strategy is about. You
Hmm.
still go into one direction you want to go, but yeah,
Yeah.
different routes can get there.
Yeah.
And you may face different challenges depending
Yeah.
on the route you're going to choose. But the point is, you're still moving ahead where you want to be.
Yeah. Exactly. When studying psychology, how does that affect you being a leader and also tying with the business growth as well? How does that all kind of tie together?
You know, it's a very interesting question because at the beginning it was more about understanding other people. Well, how will I put it? More like influencing tool, right? So when you want to get what you want to get,
Yeah.
um, but it's not manipulation. It's just understanding what drives other people, and that
Yeah.
was absolutely invaluable because you can readjust your influencing strategy to every individual. Every time it was ethical behavior. Again, you don't manipulate anybody, but you know even how you change your conversation and the tone talking to different people. And
Mhm.
in business, again, if you want to get what you want to get, be my guest, understand what other people want and work with
Mhm.
that. So that was about business. I don't know if it answers your question, but
Yeah.
nowadays is very different. It's about you know that every person that you talk to is a product of
Mhm.
past experiences. Whether you like the person or you don't like the person, it becomes totally irrelevant because you're so non-judgmental. You're so
Mhm.
much not putting any labels on anybody. You don't fit people into any roles, even though they fit themselves into these roles. I don't. Because all I see is a human being with experience, with history. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse, but that's the end result.
Mhm.
If somebody happy with who they are, they continue being like that. If it doesn't work with me, I step back, right? But if somebody want to change and discover the inner self, that free self that is now hidden, that's just a different story. But ultimately, because you understand other people again, that they are not what they seem to be, it's it lets you have no negative emotions, no anger, no irritation, no
Mhm.
anything, because you just, yeah, it's an amazing place to be in. You
Yeah.
just have this deep understanding of a human being, human nature, and it puts you in a different place. And
Yeah.
it removes so many potential mental issues that comes with us disagreeing with other people.
Yeah. But that's peace though, like you said. Basically, you saying you can recognize if a person or a situation is right for you. So if it is, you'll go with it. But if it's not, you back away from it. But
Mm-hmm.
then either way, you say spiritually, emotionally, you're good with it or without it.
Yeah,
And so yeah, so but that's true for that's really that's peace and that's I guess that's a higher your higher self. You know, you elevated yourself to a different level because you know it doesn't you're not allowing outside influences to affect your internal
absolutely.
self.
Yeah,
You know.
without a
Yeah.
shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
You're in true control. So that's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh no, actually, I'm not in control
Mm.
because control doesn't exist. The only thing I can control is myself.
Yeah.
So it's not about controlling it. The opposite. I'm in a constant state of letting go.
Nathan go. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, let go. And the other thing I like you said that people are a product of past experiences. So I like that. Man, that was really I like
Thank you.
that.
I've just come up with this one. Oh, probably I heard it somewhere, but I forgot. I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds cool.
I don't know. It's good. It's good. So I know you have a passion for psychology. Does that you feel like that does that tie into like the Buddhist mindset? Buddhist mindset that have the same approach, you think?
No, they're slightly different.
Okay.
I mean, on a superficial level, just not going into detail of Buddhist mind science or Taoist lifestyle approach. What I find in this stage is that Western psychology is much more complicated. There are lots of different compartments, and you have to put people in different compartments. And according to that, there's certain things. And this thing is supposed to be tied in with another thing. And it's
Mm.
just like, okay, why you make it so complicated? Eastern philosophy has a different approach. It's much more fluid. It's much more flexible. It's human driven,
Yeah.
and there's no. It's basically the whole thing is about getting back to who you really are without any additional complications. So
Gotcha.
that would be the biggest difference between the two. And I'm just by the nature of what happened to me in my life, I'm more inclined into Eastern approach to psychology rather than the Western one. But again, it doesn't deny that you're going to have your master degree. Yeah, so
Yeah.
then you can say, you know what, I got it and I don't like it. So that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. All right. So and I recently kind of got the experience of Eastern medicine. Just in the last year I started doing acupuncture
Yeah.
and it's really been really life changing for me. Just I was dealing with a lot of pain and stuff like that, and she's really it's her handles approach. So anytime you tell her where you having pain or whatever you're dealing with, that's depending on where she treats you, how she treats you, and so I just know I was telling one of my friends, I think just yesterday, I was like, it's been one of the best things happen because it's like it's really it's changed me not only outside but inside as well because it's like it took away a lot of the pain and the little frustration I was having with the pain, but then also it helped me with like my weight loss and just my mental everything. So I was like, it's been a really great thing. So just and that's really my first experience with that with Eastern medicine. So I was like, and it just really opened my eyes up to something that I didn't know anything about. You hear those stigmas or different things about it. You don't, but I feel like it's a great thing if you open to giving it a try. That style because it's different from what I guess Western medicine. Just go get a pill or all that type of thing.
You
Yeah.
know, there's yeah, two things come to mind. The first one is that yes, obviously I used to have acupuncture sessions and acupressure sessions a while ago, and now I am studying all this kind of chi energy and exercises. And but what I found really surprising, people say it works, and that proves that it works. But then when you listen to scientists, and I do from time to time, they say no, there's absolutely no evidence that it works. Like,
Mm.
okay, so yeah, so the first thing I really don't understand how it works, but apparently
Yeah.
scientifically they can't prove it. Or probably I'm listening to the wrong scientists, but that was the latest outcome I heard. And another thing, what I absolutely love about this type of medicine, that it is preventative.
Mhm.
right? So it's supposed to make you healthier from now on and into the future
Mhm.
before it hits the fan. While Western medicine is the reverse. It hits the fan, then we're going to figure out what actually happened if you're lucky, because usually it's not going that way, right? Usually you're giving pills and they say, okay, if they don't work, so probably something different. And then you
Mhm.
give you another medicine. If it doesn't work, so probably maybe something else. So time goes by, you still don't know what the heck happened.
Mhm.
And and then hopefully if you have insurance or whatever, you're going to get to the root cause and eventually start treating it, which is much more damaging for your body.
Mhm.
While in Eastern medicine, the whole thing, if you accept and adopt their lifestyle, which means that you're going to be healthy in the years to come, and you have an opportunity to avoid so many
Yeah.
illnesses. I can't say for everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because obviously, even Wayne Dyer or Steve Jobs, with all the Eastern, mind,
Mhm.
they still had the severe illnesses, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But nevertheless, you probably have more chances to stay healthy.
Yeah. I know for me, personally, it's been great for me. I can't speak for other people, so I'm just thankful that I've been able to be involved in it and experience it. So I just try to share it with other people, like it's an option that you might want to look into.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't believe it's going to hurt. And again, all people that I talk to, they say that it does help. So why
Mhm.
not give it a go? I
Yeah.
totally agree with you.
Yeah. All right. So you emphasize addressing the root causes of business issues rather than treating symptoms. How do
Oh, yeah.
you how do you uncover these root causes? How can leaders begin the process within an organization?
Well, you know what? There's nothing. I mean, yes, there you have different methodology. It's called root cause analysis, and you can apply different instruments. Ultimately, I guess whether you use Fishbone or you use Five Whys or whatever other network,
Mhm.
uh, program framework you decide to go with, it's individual choice. Again, they're different frameworks for different situations. But I guess the most important thing to start with is that whatever is visible, and it's the first time actually I'm saying it. I just came up with this idea. So whatever you have visible, it's like in your health, in your relationship, in your own attitude. So we're talking about personality, but we're also talking about business.
Mhm.
Usually, what is visible is the consequence, either manifestation. Very seldom it is
Mhm.
the true problem. And that is just about understanding what's behind this visible layer. Again, within yourself, within your relationship, but also within your business. When you're willing to go deeper to understand what's hidden behind it, that's the first step to understanding the root cause. The problem, that is scary because
Mhm.
you may uncover things that you don't want to know. And it's so
Yeah.
much easier to treat superficial issues because it's just faster. You may get temporarily relief.
Mhm.
It's never treated fully, the problem, right? But on the surface, for time being, it seems like, oh, I'm doing okay. While in
Yeah.
reality, the underneath issue is just growing and getting bigger and eats your business from within. But
Yeah.
again, just scary to look at it because what if you are a problem with your business? That's a big one.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes I think that's but the people are more superficial, I think, anyway, or more
Yeah, absolutely.
delicate, so they don't want to dig deep to the.
And it's also promoted. Don't take me wrong.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's the
I,
culture at the moment.
yeah, I don't know. For some reason when you said that, I don't know why I thought about this. I thought about it was an old episode of I think it was like the Bill Cosby show, and his daughter they made a birthday cake, and so so the mom said don't touch the cake, and so but what they did, her and the friend they cut out a big middle section of the cake, and then what they did, they stuffed paper towels in there and put it back with icing. So when she went to
Yeah.
go later on that day to cut the cake, she started pulling out paper towels with icing. So it made me. I'm like, I don't know why I thought about that, but it was like I was thinking like, okay, that just popped in my head like, okay, that's kind of The same thing. Like people, they want to
Yes.
fix the surface, but they don't want to dig deep to actually, fix the problem. They just cover it up.
That's the
What?
best analogy, the best
Mhm.
metaphor I ever heard.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the show, but it just makes everything so clear. Again, spot on. Really the best
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny. It just popped in my head. I haven't watched that show in that was years ago. I don't know why that popped in my head. That's crazy. But it's crazy how sometimes just some of just clicking your head is it's like, oh man, that makes so much sense. You know. But I think that is the problem. People don't want to. They don't want to dig deep. They don't want to take the time to really fix stuff. They just want the
Yeah,
easy route.
but again, the funny thing is the fact that they don't want to, it's not deep enough because if you want to fix it, you need to understand why you don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
So not wanting is like next step from I'm not doing it, I don't want to do it. But again, what's underneath? You're not willing to do it. What
Mm-hmm.
exactly are you afraid of?
Exactly. That's true. It's fear. Yeah. Yeah. But fear holds people back for a lot of things. And
Yeah,
so,
but it's a good thing. It's supposed to be your protector, right? It's supposed to protect you from being hurt and from being damaged.
hmm
And this is why you fear things, but sometimes it's just rational and sometimes it's irrational.
yeah.
Right? When I don't know, lion chase you, it's rational, yes. You have fear, but sometimes when you don't want to open up because you're afraid of people's reaction in ways is quite an irrational one. Unless you're going to be beaten somewhere like in a country where you're going to be hanged in the middle of the square, which is a different
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. But like they say, what's the analogy they say? With false evidence appearing real. So I think that's always a good like explanation of the word. So a lot of times this stuff that's it's in our mind or it's not actually in reality, but
Hmm.
we make it real. So
Exactly. Yeah.
hmm so how do you feel mindfulness practice improve decision making and leadership in high stakes business and like environments and situations?
Well, I guess it depends what kind of importance or meaning you give to a mindfulness practice. So, in my particular case, partially it's mindfulness, partially it's meditation, partially it's something else. But what happened in my place, for example, I can catch a thought that doesn't serve me before I start chewing on it.
Mm,
Before it blows out of proportion and I start creating stories that's from other stories and I just blow it and it becomes a living nightmare. So I can catch the thought in the very beginning, and I believe it's meditation and mindfulness altogether. So that the best benefit for me being able to know what's going on in my head and
mm,
intervene when it's necessary. Another benefit is just mindfulness allows you not to have thoughts at all for as
yeah.
long as you can manage.
hmm Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
Control the
if
flow.
you realize that all our troubles come from our thoughts, because feelings come from thoughts and actions come from feelings, and off you go, and this is how it develops. So the thought is the first thing that drives all the cycles that don't really serve us. So the point is you need to be able to recognize the thought when it comes, the first
Yeah.
moment, to let it go.
hmm
And this is where mindfulness and meditation are going to be a great help because you simply train your mind to react and notice.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been ever since I talked to you a few weeks back. I I've been trying to really focus on that you were saying that I mean I know you got to think, but just I guess think less about things that don't serve you, or try to when we see a thought that comes up, that's sometimes that's one of the thoughts. Sometimes some thoughts are just a thought, just really has nothing behind it. But sometimes you have those thoughts that have some emotional attachment to it or a sense. So those are the ones that really can drive you in a different direction, what direction you may not want to go forward.
Exactly.
If you
Exactly.
if you like you're in a certain place, you feeling good, you calm, and then some thought that has a really strong emotional attachment could be negative. it could really drive you to a place that you don't really want to go, a destination you don't want to go. So you have to like, okay, let's reel that back in. Let's take that out. Let's bring something else in place, or not even think about nothing at all. So, and I've been really, since you told me that, when you first said it, I was like, I never heard it before. But after I kind of start really thinking about it more, like, man, that really makes a whole lot of sense. So I really been trying to incorporate that more, and it's really been helping. So I really appreciate that you tell me that.
It's amazing. It's amazing to hear it because it's something
Mm-hmm.
that we're never taught, that actually our thoughts rules our lives.
Hmm.
But when you start realizing it, you actually, I don't know about you, but I feel empowered,
Yeah.
right? Because I can choose my reaction, I can choose my decisions, I can choose my emotions, I can choose my behavior. Yes, again, that's the responsibility that we started with in the very beginning, but ultimately it's also freedom
Hmm.
because now you can adjust as much as possible the world to your liking and not theirs.
Yeah. And it also helps you understanding that the best relationship to have, the most pure, true relationship to have, is the relationship with yourself, your inner self, that the voice, the higher self.
Yeah.
Trying to make that bridge between yourself here and your higher self, close that and make that a stronger bond. And I feel like I was listening to Billy Carson. He's a guy I listen to. He's an entrepreneur. He's wrote a lot of books. He has a $4 billion TV. He's pretty, he's all over YouTube. You can type his name in, but and he was it was one of these videos I was listening the other day, and he was saying that like you have to like you have to be able to like quiet out that noise,
Mm-hmm.
and build that gap with your higher self, with your higher self, and really bridge that gap between the two. And it's a good thing because I was noticing that I even tried the sometimes I do like I've been recently learning about diaphragmatic breathing,
All
and
right. Yeah.
it's really powerful. And the more you get into it, it's like you really get a sense of, well, euphoric sense. And, it's really because as you get into it, and it kind of releases all that bad energy or emotions you may have. So it's really relaxing. So I don't know if you ever done it before.
Me?
Hmm.
I was doing Wim Hof breathing for a while.
Okay. Do you ever have those type of experiences with it?
Yeah. Actually, twice. Actually, it wasn't about breathing, but during meditations, I had out of body experiences. And you don't believe it until you experience it.
Mhm.
And it was weird. I was so scared. Then I
Yeah.
started figuring out, I just started Googling like what was wrong with me. But apparently somehow it's out of body experience. I don't know where it's coming from. I didn't understand. Apparently some unhealthy people may also have it. I was so freaked out by what I think.
Yeah. That's cool. I haven't gone next thing, but I have felt like I guess in a sense high, from it. But
Yeah.
maybe if I would have got into it, stayed into it, or maybe I would have had the experience. I would like to experience it. I'm not. I don't feel like I'm afraid of it, but maybe when it happens, I might freak out. Then I'll probably send you an email like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, that's cool. But it's good though. It's good to push ourselves to like reach higher, how what I'm saying, energetically, because we are energy. We all light and energy anyway. So I feel like that's our true self. So I think we can. I mean, I know we live in this physical life, but on the flip side of it, once this is all over, we go back to the energetic form anyway, wherever that's gonna take us. You know. But I think the journey, it should be to focus on getting your energy to the highest point you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So you can
agree.
get back to the destination of wherever it is your higher self is anyway, to get more connection with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sounds about right.
Mhm.
Got the different types of energy, the one that you're talking about, but also the energy within your body.
Yeah.
That also, and that's, why your acupuncture was a help because it unblocks the channels, you know, for
Definitely.
energy to flow freely through your body and also to heal or to improve, for a better
Mhm.
word, you know, something that could have benefited from it.
Yeah. It's
So
it's
yeah, I
crazy.
do believe that energy is a big thing
Yeah.
to work on.
And it's crazy sometimes when they place the needles in certain spots, it feels like an electric shock because and I was like, why is it sometimes sometimes you don't feel it, you feel it, you go, but sometimes it's like a and so and she was like, well, she explained to me, she's like, it's basically where she basically explained to me wherever you have pain in your body,
Mm-hmm.
it's a blockage of the flow of
Mm-hmm.
energy. And
Yeah.
then sometime when that acupuncture goes in those different spots where it's a really a bad, where a lot of pain is significant, it's like it breaks that blockage. So it's like a release of that energy. So you feel it's kind of like a little pop, a slight pop you feel. Yeah.
You know, there's one interesting exercise. It's called microcosmic orbit meditation. It's done in Taoism. And basically, you channel your energy from top here up through your
Mm-hmm.
spine. And then, so it's like a circle. And when you see pictures, usually when they kind of try to picture this circle on an image, it's with like little, you know, fires. And I was like, where does the fire come from? And only once I experienced it, because you do need to do it quite often and really be dedicated to the practice, which is unfortunately not my case. It's amazing because when you start channeling your energy up on the spine, I felt like my spine was burning because
Wow.
this fire, this energy, this warmth was so intense. And then I realized where the fires come from. So, and that's something that you can't deny when you have a physical sensation.
Mm-hmm.
It's really challenging to deny that it doesn't exist. So
Yeah.
something was happening.
Wow. That's a great experience. What do you call that meditation?
Microcosmic orbit meditation.
Okay. Something new for me to research.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of got off on a tangent, but let me get back on track. So what's my next question?
Oh no. Curious to find out.
uh, I know you've spoken about importance of questioning, challenging beliefs in business. How can leaders foster a culture that encourages this kind of critical thinking and innovation?
Oh, oh my God, that's my favorite question about how to, and then a superficial fix. You know, let's make our people happy. Um, if there is an issue with the culture, including innovation or whatever the issue is,
Mm,
fortunately, oh my God, can't believe I'm saying that. But the fish rots from the head.
mhm,
So if you want to fix your culture, look at yourself first. It's
yeah.
actually maybe even cheaper than trying to hire 25 different HR consultants, pay
Mhm,
for and I don't know, zillion of different benefits and
yeah.
still not seeing a result. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the mirror. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, consultants are not cheap. So yeah. Basically they have a pretty big hefty per hour charge. So you bring a team of
Yeah.
them in. So if you can
So
just
actually, yeah,
mm,
probably investing into yourself and looking at yourself first, it
mm,
may actually come cheaper to start with, but also what is the most important thing that leaders don't realize? Yes, they may start with culture is not
mm,
optimal, right? So again, that is you're going to be a superficial issue, the one
yeah.
that is visible. But if you find out that underneath this culture, you need to work on yourself, the result will be visible not only through your business and through the team, but also in your personal relationship and also your relationship with yourself. Because holistically, changing yourself, the effect, positive impact, gonna be visible across all possible groups
Mhm,
of people that you work with, including business itself, because your decision making gonna be different. Your problem solving gonna be different. Your strategic thinking gonna be, hopefully, you're gonna have it eventually, because it's not going to be as scary, because strategic thinking comes with a lot of things that businesses avoid spending time on.
Yeah.
So yeah, you may start with culture, but you will see that your business and your life have completely changed. I think it's worth it.
Yeah. I definitely agree with it. But the thing is, I think some people that are starting those higher, executive roles, they, they think like, I'm the head and the
Yeah,
problem is out there somewhere. They don't,
exactly.
yeah. I mean, but but I mean, when it comes down to somebody thinking like that, that's an ego thing. If you feel a lot of ego, and like I'm this and they are that, and then therefore the main problem, which may be the leadership, may not be ever fixed, you know, because of that fact.
And that is really unfortunate because money goes into the drain.
Yeah,
As
like,
longer you try to fix all the superficial things, that is actually another thing that why root cause analysis and addressing root cause is so important. It's because fixing superficial things gonna drain you of your resources.
mhm,
Because the issue will not go. It's still gonna be there, but resources are gonna be gone, and you're not going to get the result that you're so much after.
yeah,
So time wasted, people wasted, money wasted. You're still in the same boat,
things it ain't changed. Yeah,
in the same place. So instead of just looking at what's not working, fixing it once and for all, and then just move on in a free direction, free road.
mhm,
Yeah, so that's unfortunate.
yeah, it's definitely. Have you experienced that in your dealing with different business? Have you experienced that type of thing where you saw the problem, but the people in the top levels were didn't like bend to the goals of maybe implement some of the changes and stuff like that?
Yes and no. First of all, I still work for very big companies,
Mhm,
and there was some element of strategy in most of them,
yeah,
right? So the first thing, so it wasn't really as chaotic as it can be nowadays in the small and medium-sized businesses. And
mhm,
another thing, that most of my business career, I was responsible for a chunk of a business. And usually I was free to create my own direction, my own approach that I had to influence on. And
mhm,
hence, beginning we had this conversation about influencing. But when I was running businesses, I think 90% of times I was strategic. So
mhm.
no, I didn't experience it.
Oh, that's good.
But
Yeah,
I talk to many small and medium-sized businesses, and I know they do.
yeah, I got you. So you mentioned oversaturation of podcasters with like this similar same content. How can creators and business leaders stand out and provide like real value in this crowded like marketplace?
Wow, it's a very big question. The best answer I can is to have a strategy to start with,
Mhm,
and part of your strategy going to be differentiation. So you really need to carve your positioning that will be unique for you and your business. With positioning come different things, come your execution, your messages, your customers, but differentiation is key. So that would be one part of question. And the second one, because you can approach it from two directions, basically, is what I'm talking about in my book. So the
yeah,
first one, yes, you go through differentiation and you go bottom up through understanding your consumers and basing your positioning on what your consumers want. But you have a different approach and it's top down. And top down is coming from your belief, what you believe into, why you're starting your business, what do you want to bring to this world. If your business is successful, what is the change? What is this big reason for you? And in ideal case scenario, when you have your big belief, so it's a top one that goes into your positioning, into the heart of your brand or business, and then you have a top down, bottom up from your consumers. They're supposed to connect in the middle.
Yeah.
And that would be your differentiation, strategic differentiation. So that probably, I don't know if it's a good answer, not answer, but
Yeah.
not good answer, but yeah, it's
That's
about being
fair.
different and maintaining it. So
Yeah.
you can connect with those people. And beyond that, very helpful to know your shit,
Yeah. That's
you
true.
know, to know what you do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, having some knowledge and behind what you're doing is always important. Um, but it is a lot out there, but I think that like they say, the strong will survive, and the stuff that's good will always people that are really good and have bringing the best content to
Mhm.
bring the best value, and have talking about the right conversations, that will get reached. But a lot of it's a lot of back end stuff as well for us getting it out there. But I believe that that's very true though. I agree with that. Yeah. So I know we're short on time. So you share your interest in Tibetan singing bowls and like the Georgian chants. We talked about that. How do you incorporate sound into your daily routine?
I don't incorporate sound in
You
my
know?
daily routine. When it comes to Tibetan singing bowls or shamanic drumming or Gregorian chant, I usually use it as a background music for meditation.
Mm,
So that's kind of one piece of music. I use audio when I exercise, and there I use another type of music because I'm very much into post grunge and hard rock, and they help enormously with exercising because they just pump you up.
mm.
And for the rest, it's usually yeah, kind of YouTube or podcasts, and they just blur something on the background,
Okay.
without me paying much attention to it. So that's
Yeah, I
about
got
it.
you. Okay. All right. I don't know why I decided to ask that question, but it was it's just I don't know. But so basically, can others use? Do you feel like others can use sound to enhance focus and relaxation? You know, does that you feel like that's a big help?
Yes, definitely, because music has a massive impact, and it's gonna have an impact beyond what you understand about you before your realization, even in marketing, in malls and supermarkets and restaurants, different types of music, unconsciously gonna be pushing different types of behavior that people don't even realize, and it's going to have a massive effect on your mood and your psychic and the way how you feel. So yeah, if you have an opportunity to introduce music without distraction, that is going to massively affect you.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I know. I don't. I listen to music some, but I guess when I'm working or doing so, I mainly listen to different podcasts or audio books, stuff like that. But sometimes I get in the music mode, and it's kind of like, but usually I'm all about trying to learn something or expand. So it's like I always listen to a book or a podcast. But sometimes you want to listen to some hip hop or R&B or where sometimes I listen to right. It just depends on the mode I'm in. But I listen to everything. So I definitely feel that. Um, so I know you spoke about managing thoughts and avoiding overthinking. How do you guide individual leaders to achieve clarity and focus amidst mental distractions?
Sorry, how would I?
How do you guide individual or leaders, to achieve clarity and focus amidst mental distractions?
Ooh, um, I believe that different things, clarity and focus, because focus is usually it's more on a behavioral level. So that's something that you are engaged with at the moment and you're
Mm,
focused on. Unless we talk about the destination and the goal that they want to achieve. And clarity is more on a mental level than behavioral. So there's slightly different things.
mm,
Clarity is mostly achieved through self reflection. It's either people think about themselves, or it can be done through different types of surveys, although I'm not a big fan of those. It may be
yeah.
done through reflection. You say something, I repeat simply what you said, And then it's gonna create like a next layer. You're gonna deeper. So it's more about understanding yourself, understanding who you are, what you're after.
Mhm.
Focus, I'm not into this productivity thing. So unfortunately, just out of my depth, we have productivity people that I don't big fan of. It's just too pressuring, just too heavy. I don't like such Western
Yeah.
go full
Okay.
steam thing. So
Yeah.
that's not mine. With regards to focus on the destination, it's different
Mhm.
because if you
Focus on the goal.
really, really want where you want to go, so first you need to understand what it means to you, what the cost of it, what the cost of not doing it,
Mhm.
and what you really want to achieve. And if you have this inner knowledge and inner motivation, it's going to keep you focused because this is where I want to go.
Okay.
So I don't know if I answered your question.
No, no, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, you give great, I mean, great responses. So it's definitely um, is a way you present it is always is a way people can think, research, and explore it into to a different level. So it's always great. Um, I know we're short, so I'm gonna get this last few questions.
Oh, wow.
uh, if you emphasize the importance of holistic approach to business growth, how do
Mhm.
you integrate psychology principles into business strategy to create sustainable success?
Oh, yeah. So basically, with again, when it comes to strategy, and we talk about psychology, it would be understanding motivation of people that you target. And it's not only about consumers or customers. It can be other group of people that work together with you on your business. They all become your target audience, and it's about understanding what drives their purchase behavior. So that is from strategic point of view. If we step from strategy to generic, more holistic business management and leadership, for me, psychology is to understanding what stops you from making right decisions, what stops you from creating this ambiance in the workplace that you're after, what stops you from feeling confident about your abilities as a leader, a company
Yeah.
owner. So again, it's that is psychology that is in your head, owner's head.
Hmm.
That's another how psychology can be applied to business. And also, before you mentioned the word holistic, and holistic is another thing that we're forgetting right now a lot about business, in business, because we became obsessed with sales and quick profit and return on investment.
Yeah.
And sales, from what I've seen, becomes like a main function of a business because everybody's focusing on sales, which is not true because sales actually is a supportive function
Hmm.
for strategic marketing because strategic person will define the strategy, will create the strategically created products. Not I want this one and I want this flavor and I want this color. No, your products are strategically created and they're strategically promoted because it's not about selling them now, but it's about knowing that this is where you want to be. So every activity is contributing to where you want to be, right? So none is done just because I so wanted. Let's try something different, right?
Hmm.
That's not, it doesn't work in business. Um, and sales as a supporting function, what they actually do, they sell what marketing, strategic marketing creates.
Hmm.
So that is their place. But more importantly, behind this creation of a product and behind the strategic marketing function, you're going to have your logistic, you're going to have your production, you're going to have other supportive function of a business. You're going to have your implementation that is supposed to be actually of high quality because any even good implementation, even a good strategy can be screwed by poor implementation. Right. So you need to see that business is a holistic organism. It's not about sales and pushing it and giving promotions because all other departments may actually drag your performance down because you don't pay enough attention to them. And it's exactly what we talk about root cause. They may not be able to sell it at the level you want, but this is all you see visible. Sales are not good enough, but what underneath it? Is it
Hmm.
because salespeople don't work well or because there's something else? So that's why I'm saying that business is holistic. It's not
Yeah.
about sales, and it's not about getting profit tomorrow. Because
I
longer
got
term, this profit not going to save you if you spread your resources too thin.
you. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. When I think about what you said, it's like I'm looking at it as like the mind, body, spirit. So you got the different departments,
Yep.
but everything has to be aligned,
Yep.
integrated, connected. It has to be communication. It has to be flowing. It has to be a flow of energy, and it's all got to be
Exactly.
working symbiotically together. So it makes a lot of
Another
sense.
perfect metaphor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um. So I know you got to go, but one last question I want to ask you. Um.
Oh
One is
my God, it makes me feel so important. Yeah, please.
what one question. What is your you build an incredible career rooted in psychology, leadership, mindfulness. What are your future goals, personally, professionally?
Ooh, okay. I don't set goals because it's against Western mindset,
Okay.
and I don't believe it's healthy for my mental health or wellness. So I don't
Okay.
set goals, and also because I heard people say that you can make your plans and God gonna laugh at your
Mm,
plans, something
yeah,
like that.
I
So
heard that before.
I have more or less a destination where I would like to see myself eventually if things
Mm,
go well.
yeah.
But I guess as far as as it goes, it's like in business and in life, it's more about continuous improvements, about making one step and thinking only one step ahead and making sure that the step is perfect and then see how it goes. It's like I guess in Buddhism I say that basically past has gone and future may never come.
Mm,
So why would I screw myself beforehand,
yeah.
creating goal that may not even be achievable?
Yeah. So basically, your focus is the now, but you do have an internal destination that you have in
Absolutely.
mind.
Yeah. And
But
again, it's like with strategy. I know where I want to be ideally, but things happen in life. Life is not permanent. It's changing all the time. There's no stagnation, and you don't know what's going to happen to it tomorrow. So while you still go where you want to go, you need to be able to adjust to your existing situation. And
yeah,
that's what I'm trying to do, just to keep my mental well-being intact.
yeah, I got you. Okay, where can people, where can they follow you? Where can they find you? Where can they see your book? Listen to your podcast.
Oh, okay. I don't have a podcast, which is probably a good thing because I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
But they can find all this information in the show notes on your podcast.
Okay, I got you. Then last question: if you had the opportunity to talk to your younger self, say 21 to 25-year-old range, you had the opportunity to go to talk to you, have a conversation. What would be something you would tell your younger self with everything you know now, everything you've been through?
Nothing, because my younger self wouldn't listen to it. We
Okay.
do only what we want to do. And as much as your parents try to prevent me from making mistakes, or your friends told me, don't do it, right? Because it's not going to be good. What's going to happen? You're going to do what you think is right and what you want to do.
Okay.
So there's no point. She would have done exactly the same shit.
I got you.
Um,
That, that's cool. All right. Well, I appreciate that. This has been a great episode. I really appreciate you for blessing the Heighten Sixes family with your love, your wisdom, your knowledge, your great smile, and I really appreciate you.
Shaun, and I would like to thank you in my turn for an amazing natural conversation. I know you had your questions prepared, and it
Mhm.
just says a lot of things about you as a podcaster. It's above all praise, but the fact that you still managed to keep it natural and take part in the conversation from your side, it just made it a fantastic experience. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. That's my approach. I always just try to keep it a nice conversation flow and just be natural. But that's my focus though. Well, I know you got to go, and I appreciate you. And I hope we can connect soon and stay in contact. And I really appreciate
Absolutely, it was a pleasure. Yeah,
you. Yeah.
sounds good.
All right. Well,
And I'm really sorry I have to run.
no, that's fine. Oh, it's
That
fine.
was such a pleasure visiting you.
All right, behind your six cents. This is another great episode, and I really appreciate you guys. And I'll be talking to you guys soon on the next episode. Much love. Peace.